Welcome to Divergent Fitness. I'm Mike Ramirez with another Mentoring Monday for you. So I want to stay on the topic of the body as an object versus body as a subject because I think it's an important subject. It covers a lot of different principles that we talk about all the time, and I think it's one of those areas that connect the dots on all of those principles. So especially for me lately, I've been coming to a lot of realizations and stuff when it comes to my anxiety, for instance. So there's a couple of areas that I want to give you a little bit of an example of and get a little bit more precise on it so that you can maybe explore some of those areas with you. The first one being on behavior. So when we look at behavior, a lot of times we just kind of examine it for what it is in terms of you do some sort of habit and you see the result of that habit, but we don't always look at what comes before that, what comes after, and then what was the feeling that was associated with that behavior. So one of the things that I've been noticing lately is that there are things when it comes to impulses, cravings, or habits. So with food, cravings would happen. It could also happen with other substances as well. Impulses meaning like, when does that thing that you're either craving or creating a bad habit with, when is it kind of taken over your life in a way where you almost are powerless to that thing? So the way that you behave with that thing is really important. The second thing is that usually those behaviors are associated with what we would call a fix, meaning something that replaces your need to act in the world. So I'll give you an example from my personal life. Food in general can be a fix. I'm going to give you just kind of how this might play out. I'm here working and I'm coaching and I'm talking and I'm doing all the things that I would generally do as a coach. But at a certain moment, what might happen is because of my anxiety baseline being in a certain place, I may look to food to try to support my energy levels without regard whether or not I'm actually hungry in that moment. I used to actually think I was hypoglycemic, and my doctors used to say that as well. What I found out is I'm actually not. And so at understanding my internal signals and knowing when I'm actually hungry and what type of food I need to be eating to support whatever actions and state I want to be in throughout the day or at night, make a big difference in how that relationship between my body and my mind work together. They do work together, they work separately, and it's a whole complex system, so we have to take the body into account to that equation. So treating the body as an object will sometimes, or not sometimes, will yield some sort of result differently than if you treat it as the subject. Fixes for me can also be things like even water can be a fix, and most people wouldn't think like, why would water be a fix? Well, if you have a high anxiety type of baseline, you can use water, say, as a crutch to help you calm down, let's say. But if I'm using that, then it's eliminating my ability to learn about why my nervous system would react in a certain way in an environment. There's a behavior there, there's an antecedent to the actual behavior and then the outcome of that. So you have to look at that because we're always looking for answers from the outside world. Things like, have our therapist tell us some sort of strategy to calm us down, whether it's some tapping thing or some other strategy. Taking different types of substances or supplements to put you in a certain state, whether that be pills or some sort of other supplement, or or it's your own behavior in itself that's replacing your need to actually face whatever that problem is. So let's say you really say that you love your job or whatnot, but maybe the way that you're going about your job is what's creating whatever symptoms you're feeling. Maybe you're running yourself down, or maybe you don't like the environment in which you're doing it. Same goes for your workouts. Are you actually enjoying what you're doing? Are you getting the result that you want? And are you actually feeling in the intention of that, so that you should be wanting to go to that gym and wanting to do that exercise, and you can't wait to do it because you know what it's going to do for you. The connection between your why and the reason, so the reason that you're doing it and the outcome are matching up together. Or are you enduring all of these things, ignoring your body and what it's telling you? Because you could be entering those environments and feeling depressed or sluggish or a number of other symptoms, and not understanding that your body is the one that is telling you, stop. Stop doing it this way. You do that for 10, 20, 30 years, and there's going to be some things that come from that. So looking at behavior, so that would be your impulses, your cravings, your habits, looking at the fixes. What are those substances or those things that you're using to replace? And then looking towards yourself, from the inside and from the outside, what's impacting everything that's going on around you, and taking a look at it and going, you are not a victim to those circumstances. You are the chooser or the author of those circumstances. So that's our Mentoring Monday. Hope you liked it.